really quite happy with the way my animation's shaping up, and now I'm ready to start including the illusion of weight, and specifically squash and stretch, into some of my keyframes. However, I have a little bit of an organizational mess on my hands, so I think it's time for me to start extracting some of this animation information from the animation layers of my set and my scene. I want to start separating this out, because right now everything is just kind of in this scene animation layer, which doesn't give me the layer of control that I'm after. So let's create a new animation layer before we go any further. And I'm going to call this animation layer ball, as one might imagine. And here's an easy way to start separating all of this information out without losing your information. I'm going to go in and on the ball, or I'm going to go to the scene layer itself. And I'm going to select all of my keyframes by dragging out a box with my left mouse button. With my cursor down in the timeline, I can copy those keyframes by doing Control-C on my keyboard or Command-C if you're on a Mac. I'm going to copy those keyframes. I'm going to go up to my ball animation layer, and as you might imagine, I'm going to do Control-V, V as in Victor, or Command-V as in Victor, to paste in all of that information. Now on the surface, it feels like we just kind of duplicated what we did, and we kind of did, but now with that information separated out, I can return to my scene layer. I'm going to turn off the visibility of my ball layer by clicking the eyeball icon on the ball layer itself. And on my scene layer, I'm just going to go in just really quickly to each animation frame, and I'm just going to start stripping out by hitting the X key all of these frames. I don't have to worry about losing them, because I've already duplicated that layer. It goes real fast. I only have a handful of them to do. But this is a good organizational practice. It seems silly to go in and separate all this stuff out. You're like, oh, I've already animated, it's working, the keyframes are there. Trust me, you're gonna wanna do stuff like this, because you're gonna find that your brain is gonna need all of this info. Okay, now I don't necessarily need my arcs anymore, although I will keep them around. I think I accidentally deleted them on that final frame, but that's okay. As long as we have those arc drawings on one animation frame, we're good. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to turn off the scene, go into the ball, because the ball layer has all of the scene stuff in there. I just want to have the ball isolated. So here's what I'm going to do. Just go in, select some strokes here. I don't want the horizon line. I don't want any of my arcs in there. So I'm going to grab them, dissolve them. Oops, I accidentally got the ball in there. That happens. There we go. I'm going to select at the bottom this time. Once again, just kind of rinse and repeat. Get rid of all of this stuff real fast. Before we go any further, and before we start drawing all of our in-betweens, let's be good stewards of our scenes. Let's protect our future selves, as they say. I'm a big fan of protecting my future self. Now, the smart animator would have done this at the very, very beginning, but I'm not so smart sometimes. Sometimes I get so excited about animating that I forget to organize my scene, and that's okay, because you know what? Enthusiasm is always encouraged. Here we go. Just a couple more. This is where it gets tricky because the arcs and the ball is a lot on top of the arcs in a couple of these moments, but that's okay. See if I can very carefully grab that one. Yep, I got it. Woo! I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get that one. And here we go. Almost done. The more we're organized, the easier the animation process is going to be. You'll find that the very best animators out there are not in a hurry. They're not trying to race through this. They're trying to slowly go through this process, which does a couple things. First and foremost, it gives us an opportunity for our brain to relax. We're not stressed. When we're not stressed, we're able to think more clearly. Our creativity begins to soar when we really just truly have a couple moments to think and consider. And now I have a nice, clean work environment. I'm happy with this. I can turn my set on. Things are looking good. Can play my animation. I have the exact same thing of what I had before, but now it's just organized a little bit better. Okay, now with that in mind, let's go in and start adding that squash and stretch. And there's a couple things in here that's going to help me. Without any sort of illusion of a shadow, I don't know where to squash to. kind of confusing. I don't know like where's the ground inside of my depth, right? I know that on this frame here, that contact frame, where this is where we should be squishing our ball, and it should be deforming against some sort of perceived ground plane, right? Well, where is that? I don't know. But let's add in a new animation layer so we can start figuring that out. So I'm going to add in an animation layer, and I'm just going to call this one ground. And this is just a work product animation layer. This is not going to be part of the final animation. It's really designed to help me very quickly understand how I'm going to squash and stretch my little ball. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into my drawing mode here, is that I'm just going to draw a simple little line where I want the ground to be. Maybe somewhere right around there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go to the next contact pose. Yeah, there we go. Happy. Hit return. Because now I have a target. And I'm not going to do all of them because it's the exact same thing. But now I have a good understanding of where I need to squash my ball to. It gives me a landing spot, a target for where I can stretch my ball and then squash my ball. So here I am. Let's just do it real fast. Let's go into edit mode. I'm going to grab this ball, and I think I'm going to fire off the curve editing tools because this is going to give me probably the most control and the easiest control over the construction of my squash and stretch. If we go into the dot drawing mode, there we go. Let's just squash this ball around a little bit by changing its shape. And I want to make sure, and this is why I have that line, because now look, I have a target. Now I know exactly where I need to put that object so that I'm producing the illusion of squash and stretch that I'm after. Yeah, look at that. Excellent. Now to test it, to get a real good sense if this is working or not, bonk. I can turn off the layer that's called ball, or called ground, excuse me. Let's go back into object mode. Let's just see if it works. Bonk. Yeah, I like that. It's working out. It's working out. It may have made it a little too big, so let's go back into edit mode here real fast. I'm gonna grab that layer, and on that frame here, that keyframe, I think what I'm gonna do, because it looks like it grows significantly. Yeah, it grows significantly, so I'm just going to scale it down. Let's turn the ground layer back on so I'm scaling it correctly. I'm still in my curve editing mode, which I don't want, so I've turned it off and I've returned to my stroke selection set. Hitting the S key will scale it, and then hitting the G key will allow me to put it boop, right back down there on the ground. And then we test it. We play it again, make sure it works. Yeah, cool. So these little ground indicators are a fantastic way to help me quickly and accurately produce the squash that I'm looking for, okay? So the sense of weight is going to come from the squash and stretch. I'll let you explore how that squash and stretch can be applied to all the other animation frames, but give yourself some guides. Give yourself some help inside of the drawings to help you figure out how you want to deform your character to produce the best sense of weight in your animation.